Hi everyone, it's Angela, Create Your Future. Happy Saturday. Thank you for being here. So in our video today, I am going to talk again about thought transmission. I think this is everybody's favorite topic. We're all so very interested in it, and it is fascinating. And it is the whole basis of law of assumption, and everyone is you pushed out, because your thoughts are creating your entire experience, right? Everything and everyone in your reality is overhearing your internal story. And this doesn't matter what we're talking about. It's not just people, all right? It's your body is listening to you, your finances are listening to you, your house is listening to you. Everything is picking up. Everything in your reality, everything in your experience is picking up on your belief system and the thoughts that come from that belief system. And everyone in your reality is overhearing what you are mulling over internally. Now, it may not be exactly word for word what you're thinking about that someone picks up on, although I've had that happen a lot. Seen evidence of that in the moment where somebody completely repeats back what I'm thinking about, almost word for word. It can happen like that. It also can be on a subconscious level. People can pick up on that state that you're embodying and dwelling in on a subconscious level. So, for example, if you are thinking about your specific person in a romantic, loving way, they may not think specifically those words that you're affirming or intending, but they may just begin to feel positive about you. They may begin to feel, loving and romantic and pick up on a feeling state about you. And it might be happening at a subconscious level. They may not even really be aware of it, but they're just feeling those things. So this is always happening all the time. Now, the question that I get a lot and just recently was, what about those negative things? I had a negative thought that came into my mind randomly. Is that going to manifest? So there's a little bit of a difference here. Your thoughts are always being picked up on by everyone in your reality. We do not always see those thoughts manifest, okay? Because what manifests is the dominant thought, the thing that you are continually persisting in. Neville says you have to persist until it hardens into fact. So let's kind of go back a little bit to the basics of how this works, how life is unfolding, how the universe is unfolding in your reality, how conscious manifesting works. Anything that you can think of exists now, right? In the quantum, in an energetic state. You're not able to actually perceive it with your senses in your 3D realm, but it exists. If you can think about it, it exists. So if you put your attention on something long enough, you are going to take that potential of energy and it will collapse that wave of energy so that now it is manifest in the 3D. It becomes matter. It becomes particle. It becomes apparent in your 3D experience so that you can perceive it with your senses. You can see it, hear it, touch it, interact in the 3D realm, right? So whatever you're thinking about exists now, but you have to persist in what you're thinking about for it to manifest. So even though your thoughts are transmitting and they're going to vacillate all the time, right? Everyone is picking up on it, but you're not necessarily going to see someone act on that. You're not going to see the evidence of that unless you persist and stay consistent in the line of thinking that you want to have show up. All right. So don't be afraid when you have a negative random thought come in, right? It's not going to manifest. When you catch that negative thought and you say, wait a minute, this isn't where I'm going. This isn't what I desire. This isn't my preference. And then you change it and you get back on track with what you do prefer. You've now switched back over, right? You're in a different lane. You're on a different trajectory. You are now in a different reality. Because remember, infinite realities exist, and we move in and out of those realities all the time with our thoughts. And the great thing is, when you catch a thought, you just shift back in, okay? You shift back into where you want to be. You shift back into experiencing that version of the person that you prefer as soon as you shift your thinking. So don't get afraid by this knowledge that your thoughts are transmitting. Be empowered, knowing that, oh, okay, I'm now catching myself and I'm shifting back into the thing that I prefer. And that person that I'm thinking about or whatever it is now picking up on this new story that I'm engaging in, or the story that I prefer, right? So this is why we get like a lot of hot and cold things showing up in our reality, because we might be thinking in a positive way about our desire. We might be thinking thoughts that are in alignment with our desire. And then we stumble and we get into a negative mindset, and whatever or whoever we're thinking about is going to be picking up on that, maybe that negative thought. And then we go back to the positive thought, and that person goes back to the positive thought. So see, it's vacillating, and sometimes we get little tidbits coming in. We maybe somebody that we're thinking about in a positive way, and we're wanting to get restoration in a relationship. You might get a text message or something. It's not the full manifestation, but you see things beginning to move, and then your thoughts go back to that negative place, and then as a reflection, they withdraw, right? They don't continue because your thoughts have gone in a different direction. And then you get back on what you prefer, your mental diet, the intentions for the manifestation that you prefer, and then you see them reach out again, right? But we kind of go through this up and down. We vacillate because our mind is just going back to old programs, things that we're used to, and that is what everyone in our reality is doing, right? They're responding internally. They are picking up on who we are and what we're being with our thoughts. So just know it's normal to vacillate, to go up and down in your thinking, and everyone is going to be picking up on some level on that, but it's not going to manifest instantly and create some really horrible scenario, because you've got to consistently stay true to that story, true to that outcome, in order to get a manifestation. So those little random thoughts that come in, yes, somebody's going to probably pick up or begin to think in alignment with that. But when you catch it and you flip it and turn it around, they are going to be turned around in their thinking as well, guys. And this is all your reality. It's all coming from within you. Nobody has free will. Nobody is just going to pick up on a negative thought and then take off, and you are powerless. You can turn your thinking around and know and be empowered that the people that you're thinking about are shifting as well. Everyone truly is you pushed out. So I want you to feel empowered and not afraid. Catching that thought and being aware of it is a good thing. Don't be afraid of that. It's a good thing. Remind yourself, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to think like this. I don't want my person or money or my body to think in this negative way. I'm going to shift that thought. And I know that everything in my experience is shifting on some level as well. All right. So let this encourage you. Let this empower you. Remember that you have got to really persist in a new way of thinking before the wave of potential collapses and you see it in your reality. Okay. And If something shows up that you don't like, if you get something coming in, you can shift it and turn it around. Like, please don't be afraid and don't worry about this. I know it's triggering sometimes, but you can shift and turn things around. It's your reality. You're in charge. You are the captain that is leading this whole experience. So your thoughts are always going to turn circumstances around. You can shift anything. And as soon as you begin thinking a new way, even if you've seen a little bit of evidence, even if something negative came in that you don't like, that person or whatever's involved in that experience is now picking up on your new story, the way you've shifted, the way you're moving in your thinking. They're picking up on that, okay? But you really have to persist and stay true to a new story, because we almost always have an old story within us that is dominant that we are going to have to shift before something hardens into fact, before we see it come into our experience, okay? The brain is going to go back to what it's accustomed to, what it knows best, and we are continually pulling it into a new direction. And that does take some persistence. It takes applying energy towards that before we can actually see it show up in our reality. We almost always have some sort of block, some sort of resistance around a story, all right? So guys, be empowered by knowing that your thoughts are overheard and that you can shift at any time with your thinking, and everyone and everything in your experience is going to pick up on that, all right? As soon as you catch that negative thought, change it, turn it around. Tell yourself, my specific person is now thinking in this way, this new story, the thing that I prefer, the desired outcome that I prefer. Empower yourself by thinking about the process and thinking about how when you shift your thinking, everything is shifting with you because everything's coming from within you. All right, so my intent is you feel empowered and you know that there's no reason to be afraid. You're in charge. You can always shift things and change them, right? I hope that this really encourages you. It gives you some strength to feel your power, step into your power, and be aware of your thoughts and not be afraid of. All right, guys, I want to remind you that I'm available for one-on-one coaching. And if you want to work with me, you can check down below on those links, follow them, and sign up for some coaching. Also, we are giving away a free course, How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. If you want to check that out, that's down below in the links. And if you want to sign up for some free coaching, when we get to, I think, 100,000 subscribers, we're going to give away 3 free coaching sessions to 3 different people with the coach of your choice. And this is a really great offer. So check out anything down below if you're interested in that. Also, I have a course, Awaken to I Am. This is all about the basics of manifesting, the basics of stepping into your power, recognizing your power, being aware of your power, and appropriating your power. So any of that is down below in the description box. All right, happy manifesting. I'll see you next time. Bye.